retired. Jeff has worked with the city's public safety office as well as the city engineer's office many times over the years. He had been on the department over 31 years and had been here at Carson Station over 24 years. And for you guys who may not be able to recall who Jeff is, Jeff was the lead investigator who was responsible for making the multiple arrests on that 2020 fatal Christmas Day collision. So we want to just thank Jeff for his efforts and wish him the best in retirement and thank him for his dedication to the city as well as the station. Lastly, I would like to thank all the men and women, the sworn and professional staff here at Carson Station who worked over this past weekend. Their efforts went well in ensuring that we had no firework-related injuries or damage occurring inside our entire area. Preliminary, I'll give you a couple statistics. The deputies responded to over 123 calls of service related to illegal fireworks. And that doesn't count the self-initiated proactive enforcement that they were putting on regarding illegal fireworks. They confiscated over 950 pounds of illegal fireworks and issued nearly 70 citations. That concludes my report for this evening. I just want to thank everyone for their support of the hardworking men and women here at Carson Sheriff Station. Does anyone have any questions of me?
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Captain, when would you have a report as to how many citations were issued and to what monetary amount? I know we have different amounts now, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. Would we have it by the next council meeting or maybe the meeting after that?
I'm confident that for sure we'll have it by the meeting after that, but the citation numbers I have pretty much is I think it's nearly 70, but I'll have the actual by the next council meeting, or for sure the one after that. And as far as the monetary amount, we'll have to collect them and see how many were first time or how many were second.
Right. All right. Thank you. That's all my questions.
Captain, I would like you to, and city manager, schedule a meeting with the ad hoc fireworks committee when you get this information. And then I know there was some concern about our resolution. So I know we had discussed it, that we needed to find out exactly, did it work or didn't it work? And I know we had put some clause in there saying may, that the homeowner may be fined, but we need to look at that and then make a recommendation and then bring a full report back to the city council on, everything that you said, the number of citations and all that good stuff. So city manager, could you call together our ad hoc subcommittee? I think it's the councilman and I are on that committee.
Yes, ma'am, we'll do.
Okay. Then also a certificate of recognition for Jeff Littman, who's been with us all of his life from the sheriff department. We just
yes, ma'am.
We send a letter from the entire city council thanking him for his years of service and a certificate from the city council.
Thank you. He will really appreciate that.
Thank you. Any other questions for our captain?
Glad he's feeling better.
Yeah.
Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, good seeing you all.
And where's Lieutenant Boulder? He did a good job in replacing you, but it wasn't you.
He's on the line. I heard nothing but glamorous remarks about him.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hi there, Lieutenant.
Hello, Madam Mayor. Much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. So, Dave, when you prepare the letter, send me a copy of it so I know that's out and I can take it off my things to do list.
Yes, ma'am. We'll do.
Okay. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you all.
We'll be seeing you at the ad hoc committee and around the city.
Yes, ma'am.
The next we have a report from Chief Bennett of the Los Angeles County Fire Department.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Thanks for having me. Hope you guys had a happy, safe 4th of July weekend. So for the month of June, giving you those stats, there was a slight uptick from our May numbers with 1,210 calls for service. We had 920 of those as emergency medical calls. 56 are good intent calls. We had 14 fire calls, 9 what we'll call special interest, and 2 hazardous conditions. So again, that I would say that is an average month for us with that 1,210 calls. And then we do know that with the start of the July and the warmer weather, just our first 5 days here in July have been very active. I do have just I can mirror what Captain Jones said, and that we had no significant injuries or major fires as relating to fireworks. Preliminary report, I just called up the stations, and we thought about 7 very minor fires, which would be in trash cans, grass fires, the things that we expect, even with the legal fireworks getting dumped. So again, nothing major, but we think about 7 that were fireworks related with some minor injuries. Again, I'll have a detailed report for you when we put together our July stats, but I do expect that there are going to be quite a bit more calls for service for us in July as we get into this warmer weather.
Wow.
So that's it. Quick report. Again, as always, want to thank Captain Jones and his team for keeping us safe out there, especially over the weekend. We were all really busy. Your firefighters worked really hard, and kind of were up all night, and they had no injuries to firefighters, which we're always happy about.
Excellent.
So that's my report. Any questions?
Any questions? Hearing none, Captain, thank you for attending our meeting and for taking care of us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You guys have a fantastic evening.
The next is item number 9. Our city manager has a presentation, introduction of our new Director of Human Services.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, item number 5 is the introduction of our wonderful new Director of Human Resources, Ms. Crystal Williams. So I'm going to allow Ms. Williams to jump on and introduce herself, Madam Mayor, and the council, and to the rest of our employees and residents here in the city of Carson. So Ms. Williams, it's all yours.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Mr. David Roberts. I appreciate it. And hello to all the residents of the city of Carson. I'm so excited to be your new Director of Human Resources. My appreciation goes out to all involved with the recruitment. And I also want to say thank you to the city council and the mayor. I do have with me my family, my mother and my sister. And I don't want to take a lot of time just to say hello, good evening. And the HR department is looking forward to serving all the employees of the city of Carson, which in my mind equates to good service for the residents of the city of Carson.
Thank you. Hi, family. Hello, Mom. Hi, sis. Hi, Luca. How you doing? Okay. Well, thank you.
I have a question, Madam Mayor. Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Is your daughter there with you? The daughter that graduated from the little preschool a while ago. Now she's older. Oh, you're muted, actually.
She just left.
Okay.
She couldn't wait.
Give her my regards, please.
I will. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. Item number 6 is update from Los Angeles County Sanitation District. Mr. City Manager, do we have anything to report tonight?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That was provided. We do, I believe, is Brian. I see Mr. Brian Langpap. He is here for LA County Sanitation. He's going to give you a quick update, Madam Mayor and Council, if that's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council members.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council members, city staff, and members of the public. My name is Brian Langpap, and I'm the Public Information Officer for the Los Angeles County Sanitation Districts. Our General Manager wanted to be here tonight, but unfortunately we got bumped back from an earlier meeting, and he unfortunately already had plans to be out of town with his family. So I'm here, we've got about a 6-minute presentation. I'm just going to give you an update on kind of where we are at the Carson sewer spill. We had a third-party audit that was completed, and I'm going to kind of summarize those findings. So let me see if I can get the screen up here. Everyone see my screen okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Okay, so before we jump into the audit, I wanted to take a couple of slides to summarize what happened. On December 30th, 2021, one of our 48-inch sewers collapsed, which caused this sinkhole and a blockage of the sewer. The blockage caused the sewer to overflow from manholes on 212th Street and ultimately 8.5 million gallons overflowed before the sewer flow was entirely bypassed around the blockage the next evening. We had district staff and multiple contractors working around the clock to stop the overflow, clean the affected neighborhood, and repair the collapsed pipe. Here's the area where the pipe collapsed. This is 2 weeks later when the repair was complete and the site was restored. So to learn as much as possible from this event, we hired an engineering consultant named GHD to carry out the 4 tasks noted on the slide. On May 12th, GHD's final report was shared with the City of Carson and other interested parties. The report was also posted to our website where it is still available. I'm now going to summarize the report's findings for you. So first, GHD investigated the cause of the failure. This failure was unusual because most failures result in a sinkhole, but not a blockage. In this case, the collapse of the sewer and the nearby manhole resulted in full blockage of the flow. The exact sequence of events and cause of failure could not be determined. However, corrosion of the sewer combined with heavy rains were clearly significant contributing factors. Here we see crews that were trying to clear the sewer after it failed, and you can see the broken pipe, and on the right is where the manhole used to be. There's a kind of a ladder sticking through there. So the consultant also reviewed the response by the district's operational, construction management, and public information staff. They concluded that district staff followed procedures, met regulatory requirements, and were effective in carrying out their duties. A few examples. We had staff on site within 24 minutes of receiving the initial call. We had complex bypass piping that was started in about 12 hours. Affected residents, regulatory, and other key stakeholders were kept well informed. And we proactively worked with the impacted residents and washed streets, sidewalks, driveways, and cars, as well as replaced impacted landscaping. So one of GHD's efforts was to benchmark our programs relative to those of peer agencies, like the City of Los Angeles Bureau of Sanitation and the Orange County Sanitation District. Overall, they found our practices to be similar, but they did identify a number of items that we can improve upon. GHD provided nearly 30 recommendations, which can be grouped into 3 areas. The first grouping has to do with new technologies. Examples include using scanners to assess manhole integrity, using high-definition video cameras for our sewer inspections, and having a flow model of our sewer system. Now, we've already purchased the 2 new devices, and the image on this slide shows an existing computer mapping of the sewer system. We can build on that mapping to develop a sewer model that's going to help us make better decisions about managing the sewer in the future. The second grouping of recommendations has to do with better planning and prioritization. We've historically prioritized based solely on the condition of the sewer. Going forward, we will also consider the consequences of a failure of a particular sewer when we determine priority. We are also creating a formal inspection program for our manholes and other structures, and we will use that information as part of our prioritization. The image you see here is from a sewer inspection using a high-definition camera. The great detail we get by these cameras will help us with more accurate assessments and better overall planning and prioritization. The third grouping of recommendations has to do with our capital improvement program. Recommendations here include better tracking of projects once we identify them for rehab, accelerating rehab of projects for sewers that are in the worst condition, and we have to check our staff levels to make sure that we have the right amount of staff to keep the right pace for these projects. Now, all of GHD's recommendations have been assigned a lead group for implementation within the agency. More than half of these recommendations will be completed before the end of this year. Some, like the sewer flow model, are going to take multiple years to implement. So even though GHD found that the district's processes and procedures exceeded state requirements, we are disappointed and sorry that the spill occurred. When challenged by this negative event, one thing our leaders did was review our agency's guiding principles. Here are a few of the relevant principles, and on behalf of our general manager, I want to reiterate our commitment as an agency to learn from this event and improve our operations. that concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Brian, for that report. I like the relationship that we have with the sanitation department. You guys have been very responsive to answering questions and being on site and just keeping the city involved in what is taking place. And I know this report was out, so I want to thank you for presenting it to our residents and for the relationship that we have. Any comments from my colleagues?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Hi, Brian. Thanks for the report. So I live actually on the west side, and my property is adjacent to the construction site. So when the piping was put in, it looked like about 12 or 18-inch pipes to bypass the blockage was installed along Figueroa Street. It was to deal with that blockage that you outlined in your presentation, right at the 220th Street exit of the 110 freeway, the photos that you showed us. Then after that happened, it was discovered that the integrity of other sections of the pipe were in question. And as a preventative effort, the Sand District decided to put in further bypasses and repair pipes so that this incident won't repeat itself in another section of the pipe. But the original blockage that you outlined is still, seems to be actively, what's the word for it, worked on. Seems to be stop and go, because a couple of points I see the pipes were actually capped off, and now they seem to be opened up again. Mm-hmm. So can you tell the public what the plans are as far as removing those bypass pipes off of one of the traffic lanes of Figueroa Street, and what you're going to do north of Carson Street, what you're going to do south of 220th Street, south of 223rd Street? Can you give the public an idea what to expect? Because right now, there's a lot of frustration in this neighborhood as to why is it taking so long? And why are these pipes still lying out on the street? Hasn't it been fixed yet?
So I'm going to share my screen again. I brought an extra slide because I thought a question like this might come up, and I think a map will be helpful here. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay. I love maps, Brian. Okay, so this red section here is just south of 220th Street. Yes. This is the area that failed right before New Year's Day. Mm-hmm. We had about 200 feet of repair. So this was our first 2022 repair. While we were cleaning this area up, we inspected upstream and downstream, and this area in green here was not in good condition too. So in January of this year, we immediately set about plans to do a second repair here in green. That work was started in February as soon as we could get the pipe delivered, and it was finished in mid-March. To complete that repair, we needed bypass piping. So some of that bypass piping from the first one was kind of reused for the second project. We also found that the last 3,000 feet of the sewer, the area shown here in orange, was also not in great condition. We had a project on the books to repair that, but in an abundance of caution, we said, you know what, we're not going to wait a year to get that project started. We're going to go out on an expedited basis and get this done. So we awarded a $5 million project here in April for the third repair, and that work is underway right now. So second repair done in mid-March. This third repair, they had to do a bypass for as well. So that's why you probably saw the piping out there and it was capped, and then they kind of uncapped it. They reused the bypass piping that they set up initially. So this third repair is the work that's ongoing that needs the bypass. They're lining half of this week. They're going to line the other half of it next week. So if things go well, we should be wrapping this up early next month. And that would mean getting that bypass piping out there. Now, what makes this also confusing, that's not shown on this drawing, is we have a brand new sewer that's being constructed in Figueroa from Carson Street all the way down to 228th. That project started last year, about, early last summer, and they're kind of working their way from south to northward. So right now, they're at about, what did I hear? They're up to about 224th Street on that sewer. So about here. They've got a siphon built here to get under 220th. So they're making progress. But when this project here, the third repair, gets done early next month, you're still going to see construction out there for the brand new sewer that's being put in. Right now, the schedule is to have the brand new sewer done at the end of this year. And we just hope that there's no bad weather or no supply chain disruptions that throw us off track there. Councilman,
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, but I have another question.
Sure.
So just to be clear, it's understood that there are two separate projects going on. The one that started at least 2 years ago, north of Carson Street, was to install a brand new sewer line. That makes sense. So will you take out of commission the old sewer line that collapsed, or you keep them both in operation for engineering reasons?
I guess I don't want to speak for our operations group, but I suspect we'll keep both of them out there. It's always good to have flexibility.
Right, of course.
That's what will this give us. The new pipe plus the repaired old pipe will give us flexibility. And one thing I didn't really point out, but once we complete this red, well, the red and green are done, but once we complete the orange, this whole sewer from 228th all the way up will basically have been repaired at some point with like a new corrosion resistant liner. So we're going to have a really robust sewer there, as well as a brand new sewer in the street. So we've got a lot of flexibility in this area.
Okay, so the next question is, at what point will the, looks like ABS pipe, it's a black plastic pipe, there's double pipe along the street, the two of them. When would they be removed from Figueroa Street?
It should be next month. It should be early next month. When we get the third repair done here, we can take that bypass piping out.
So all of the bypass piping will be removed, you think, by the end of August?
Yes.
I won't hold you to it.
I'm hoping early August. Yeah.
Hopefully early August.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other thing that we'll be able to get out of there is that north of Carson Street, just a little bit north of there, is where we start the bypass. So there's a series of pumps out there where they're pulling the sewage out to get it in the bypass piping. So, there's noise associated with that. Once the piping's out, we'll get those pumps out of there too.
Right. My property is between Carson Street and 220th Street. So right on Figueroa. All right. So it's pretty safe for me to tell my neighbors who are asking me constantly about this that sometime next month, those black pipes will be removed, which will free up a traffic lane because there is a lot of congestion.
Yes. Well, I can't speak to all the traffic control because we still have the work going up the street here.
Yeah, that's on the southbound side, but the northbound side is where the black pipes are.
But we're working our way northward, and I did want to just thank the city. We've talked with Public Works earlier this year about ways to expedite the work in Carson, and they're allowing us to work 10-hour days Monday through Friday and work Saturday. So now it's 56 hours a week. So that lets us move along more quickly.
Very good. Okay. Well, thank you, Brian. I appreciate the answers to the questions. I'm sure the public appreciates it as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. The next is item number 7. We have a proclamation recognizing Parks and Recreation Month. Councilman Hicks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Recognizing the month of July as Park and Recreation Month, whereas Park and Recreation Month are an integral part of communities throughout this country, including Carson, California, and whereas park and recreation programs promote health and wellness, promoting physical and mental health of people who live near parks, and whereas parks and recreation create community through people, parks, and programs in the city of Carson and throughout the country, whereas parks and recreation promote time spent in nature, which positively impacts mental health by increasing cognitive performances and well-being and alleviate illnesses such as depression, attention deficit disorder, and Alzheimer's. Whereas Parks and Recreation encourages physical activities by providing space for popular sports, hiking trails, swimming pools, and many other activities designed to promote active lifestyle. And whereas Parks and Recreations are a leading provider of healthy meals, nutritional services, and education. Whereas Parks and Recreation programming and education activities such as out-of-school time programming, youth sports, and environmental education are critical to childhood development. And whereas residents value their parks for access to outdoor space for children and adults to play and be active, exercise, and group sports. Whereas Parks and Recreation are essential and adaptive infrastructure that makes our community resilient in the face of natural disasters and climate change. Whereas Parks and Recreation natural areas ensure the ecology beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and outdoor activities. Whereas July is celebrated across the nation as Parks and Recreation Month, and whereas thousands of children, adults, seniors benefit from the wide range of services, facilities, and programs provided by the City of Carson. Now, therefore, the Mayor and City Council of Carson, California, do hereby proclaim July 22 as Parks and Recreation Month and urge all residents to enjoy our parks, open space facilities, recreational opportunities, and taking into consideration the benefits effect of well-being for all. Dated today, May 5th, 2022, attested by the Mayor, attested by our City Clerk and the Mayor and City Council. And who is going to receive this is our Parks and Recreation Commissioner, Chairperson Walter Gonzalez, and everyone know our Secretary, Kim Cordado. Are they here?
Yes.
Both of them, okay.
Both of them.
Yes.
Good evening.
Hi, Walter.
Hey, Walter.
Honorable members of our City Council and City staff. On behalf of Park and Recreation and Culture Art Commission and the residents of this progressive city, it is my honor to receive this proclamation recognizing July as Park and Recreation Month. I would like to take this opportunity to give a special thanks to our new city manager, director, and superintendent for their leadership and their motivation to lead our programs to live up the expectation of our future unlimited. Park makes life better. Thank you one more time.
Thank you.
Madam Sec. Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council, staff. Just want to say thank you for recognizing Parks and Recreation for the month of July. Parks in the city of Carson do make life better for all of our residents. When you get out to our parks, you can see, all the residents and youth utilizing our facilities for their enjoyment. And thank you very much again.
And thank you to Walter and Kim. Kim, we can't say enough. You're everywhere all the time. If it's an event, you're there. You represent the Parks and Recreation and Cultural Arts Commission. And thank you, Walter. You've been steadfast all these years. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we have our proclamation acknowledging American Independence Day. Do we have someone from the Veterans Affairs, Mr. City Manager, receiving this?
I didn't see anybody specifically, Madam Mayor. I know that.
I saw Brian Raber.
Brian Raber?
Oh, Brian. Okay, is Brian? Okay, I did see.
Brian, are you here?
Hello.
Hi, there you are. Thank you, Brian.
Hi, there I am. Did you see me?
I see your name.
Julie's behind me.
Don't you look nice?
She's running this thing.
Okay,
I just wanted to, Madam Mayor.
Madam,
should I say something now?
No, after I read it. After I read it. Okay. American Independence Day, July 4th, whereas throughout the 1760s and early 1770s, the North American colonists found themselves increasingly at odds with the British imperial policy regarding taxation and frontier policies. And whereas British officials throughout the colonies increasingly found their authority challenged by informal local governments, although the loyalist sentiment remained strong in some areas, And whereas in late 1775, Benjamin Franklin, then a member of the Secret Committee of Correspondence, hinted to French agents and other European sympathizers that the colonies were increasingly leaning towards seeking independence. Franklin hoped to convince the French to supply the colonists with aid. Independence would be necessary, however, before the French officials would consider the possibility of an alliance, and whereas throughout the winter of 1775 through 1776, the members of the Continental Congress came to view reconciliation with Britain as unlikely, and independence the only course of action available to them. And whereas on December 22nd, 1775, the British Parliament prohibited trade with the colonies, Congress responded in April of 1776 by opening local colonial ports. This was a major step towards severing ties with Britain. By February of 1776, colonial leaders were discussing the possibility of forming foreign alliances and began to draft a model treaty that would serve as a basis for the 1778 alliance with France. And whereas on June 7, 1776, Richard Henry Lee introduced a motion in Congress to declare independence. Other members of Congress were amenable, but thought some colonies were not quite ready. However, Congress did form a committee to draft a Declaration of Independence and sign this duty to Thomas Jefferson. And whereas Benjamin Franklin and John Adams reviewed Jefferson's draft, preserved its original form, and presented the final draft before Congress on June 28, 1776, and Congress adopted the final text of the Declaration of Independence on July 4, 1776. And whereas the Declaration's most important diplomatic effort was to allow the recognition of the United States by friendly foreign governments. Although Spain joined the war against Great Britain in 1779, it did not recognize U.S. independence until the 1783 Treaty of Paris. Under the terms of the treaty, which ended the War of the American Revolution, Great Britain officially acknowledged the United States as a sovereign and independent nation. And whereas by issuing the Declaration of Independence adopted by the Continental Congress on July 4, 1776, the 13 American colonies severed their political connections to Great Britain. The Declaration summarized the colonists' motivations for seeking independence. By declaring themselves as an independent nation, the American colonists were able to confirm an official alliance with the government of France and obtain French assistance in the war against Great Britain. Now, therefore, the mayor and the City Council of Carson, California, recognized American Independence Day on July 4, 1776, a day that represents the Declaration of Independence and the birth of the United States of America as an independent nation. We encourage all citizens to observe and celebrate with pride, give all due ceremony to recognize American Independence Day as a time to honor America, appreciate its legacy, heritage, tradition, and live with patriotism. It's dated today, the 5th of July, 2022, and we did celebrate July 4th yesterday. And here to receive this is our commissioner, Commissioner Brian Rabel from the Veterans Affairs Commission.
Madam Mayor and City Council members, I am really honored in behalf of the Veterans Commission to receive the City of Carson Independence Day proclamation. I'd like to just say a few words about our City of Carson. I think we've all heard on the news during this celebration how we are an integrated community, not the community, but the United States, and that we really are proud of our ethnicity. Well, I'm so proud of Carson's ethnicity myself. I was, Julia and I'm going to give a little history about myself, but it won't take long. I was going to tell you that Julia and I rented in the city of Lomita for 9 years before we moved to Carson on August 10th, 1972. The reason we moved to Carson, the basic reason, was because of its ethnicity. Our kids were being raised in city of Lomita, which didn't have the diversity that we have in Carson. And we decided we wanted our children to be raised in a diverse community. We wanted them to be raised with all races and ethnicities. So that worked out for us. We bought here and we've been here since that date. And what happens, just to let you know how beautiful this is, what happened is my oldest son, Brian, all the kids were in grammar school when they moved here. When Brian got married, he married a Latina, a Mexican-American girl. Then my number 2 son, Anthony, he got married and he married a Native American. She's Apache. Our number 3 son, Christopher married Charlotte Singleton, who is an African American. And our 4th son married a Filipina. Her name is Narissa Langada. Now we celebrate with all those people. Last month we had a celebration with them, and it's like Carson. You look at our family and we look just like Carson. All of my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and my children all look like that. And I think it's such a wonderful thing because we are the United States of America. And Carson is the American city. I tell you, that's the way I feel. And I just want to thank my commissioners for allowing me to be the representative to pick up this proclamation for Independence Day. And I want to thank you, Mayor, and I want to thank the city council members also. So thank you very much, and God bless all of you.
And thank you very much.
That's my story.
Huh?
That's my story.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm honored.
Thank you. The next, we have a proclamation recognizing Heroes Day. Councilwoman?
Madam Mayor, may we push this item to the next meeting so that way the individual recipient will be available then?
No problem. Love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome back, by the way. The next is all communications for matters listed on the agenda from the members of the public. It's now 7:25. Madam City Clerk, do you have anyone wishing to speak on any agendized items?
Good evening, Madam Mayor. We didn't receive anything in writing, but there are 3 people waiting in the waiting room that, with your permission, I'll begin to let in now.
Let them in.
Okay.
Whether it's agenda or non-agenda, so we don't have to come back.
Okay.
It's only 3.
Okay, but not for the public hearing though, right?
Not for the public hearing. No.
Okay,
Unless they want to. They want to speak now.
Nope.
They can.
Well, if you open it, I mean, I think we got all mixed up last time, so I'm gonna.
No, you have the choice. You can speak during all communication, or you can wait till the item comes up.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just get started with these 3. We'll see what they're here for. Good evening, caller ending in 9743. You've been added to the live meeting. Please unmute yourself. And if you'd like to state the nature of your call and your name, please.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I sure can. You're in the live.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, City Council and Mayor. My name is Tommy Falvey. I'm here to speak on item number 28.
Sir, I didn't catch your name, but you're good to go. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Tommy Falvey, speaking on item 28. I wanted to call in support of the item when it comes to having responsible contractors perform work at the City of Carson. MB Herzog Electric is one of our signatories, IBW signatory contractor, and I urge the City Council to approve this emergency item. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you for calling. Okay, the next person. Good evening, caller ending in 4661. You've been added to the live meeting. Please unmute yourself.
Hello?
Hello?
Caller ending, there you go.
Hello,
Hi, yes, you're in the live meeting.
am I up now?
You sure are. Can you state the nature of your call and your name, please?
My name is Anna Menny, lifelong Carson resident, calling in regards to the recent Common Heritage Day event.
I did not hear that. If you could lower the device in the background.
My name is Anna Menny,
Uh-huh.
and I'm a lifelong Carson resident. And I'm calling to speak in regards to the recent Common Heritage Day event.
Oh, speaking to the Samoan Heritage event, Madam Mayor.
That's fine.
Okay.
We have 3.
Okay, please go ahead, Anna Menny. Thank you for calling. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I wanted to give an opportunity right now to thank the City of Carson and also the staff, Jen and Noah, for putting on this event. It was an amazing event. And also to the Mamoli family, because unfortunately, Cy Mamoli wanted this event for many years, but didn't live to see it. And what's great is this event was attended by guests even who flew in from around the country to be there. It was marred by the comments that were made during the certificate presentation by Councilmember Jim Deere. And this is why I called and reported this the evening of the event to City Manager Dave Roberts. And I also inquired and requested that he forward this information to the City Attorney, Sunny Saltani, to look into. I was embarrassed and offended by the fact that Councilmember Jim Deere made offensive remarks, inappropriate remarks on the stage, on the mic, first towards Kiki Fini, the pillar of our community, when they called one of our guests of honor's name, who was being presented to now, and made remarks about him. You know, the reason why she couldn't hear his name being called because he was busy talking to a beautiful young woman. That was inappropriate and uncalled for. And then when it made matters worse, when the singer Chanel arrived on the stage, Councilmember Jim Deere then made remarks about the only reason why he called her name was to get her away from Kiki and to have her all to himself so he can give a kiss for her. Mm-hmm. You know, he was pulling a full-on Joe Biden with inappropriate sexual related remarks. And I was disgusted by that and I was embarrassed. I even have friends and family who were here from out of town to attend the event and could not believe that that's how our elected official who was treating one of our guests of honor, who was also an international performer. And this was happening right in front of us. And being a long-term city elected official and also boasting about being a school teacher, I would assume that he went through enough sexual harassment training to know what's appropriate and inappropriate to say to individuals, let alone to a member of the public on the stage. You know, this is completely uncalled for. And I'm sure that not anybody from our community reported this because in our culture, Pacific Island culture and Sound Lake culture, it's taboo to bring negative remarks against those in esteemed positions, especially those in sexual nature. This is why in our culture, we're constantly fighting about having to come back against sexual harassment and rape and molestations are underreported in Pacific Islander culture because you don't report, you don't ever dare say anything. But I'm saying something. I left a voicemail with the city manager that evening when my phone was charged up around 5:55. I specifically requested he contact the city attorney, Sunny Saltani.
Anna,
sorry?
Your 3 minutes are up.
I'm sorry, I didn't get any warning, but I consider this a follow-up to the complaint that I lodged as a voicemail in action, and also whether or not the city is in compliance with AB 1661, which is sexual harassment training of all elected officials every 2 years, been in fact since January 1st.
You have more than 3 minutes to talk, and she gets to talk longer than other people.
She has 3 minutes. Anna,
thank
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Madam Mayor, that was a politician, again, just like we had before, a politician speaking out of jealousy, and she's attacking elected officials at our council meetings to serve no higher good. You would think Christians would be more appropriate, but she's a politician trying to make a political attack. That's all that can be said about that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Who's next, Doctor?
There's one more. I will let
thank you.
school teacher, I would assume that he's entering sexual harassment training.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Please mute your device in the background.
I'm sorry, say it again?
Can you mute your device in the background? No, don't mute yourself. The device that's playing in the background.
The TV.
The television, caller ending in 3984.
Feedback, file
Unmute
feedback.
yourself, please, but mute your device in the back. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, there's no television on. It's the computer. I'm looking at the meeting.
Oh, okay. Yes, there's just a delay, so sometimes there's feedback. Can you state the nature of your call and your name, please?
My name is Nandis Mason, and I'm calling regarding the illegal fireworks in the city of Carson.
Okay, Madam Mayor?
Yes, she's
okay.
on this one.
You have 3 minutes.
Okay. So
we can still hear the background.
Okay, so you want me to turn it off?
Please, or just
okay,
lower it.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, your 3 minutes is starting now.
Okay, hi. My name is Nandis Mason. I'm a resident here in the city of Carson, and I'm here to talk about the illegal fireworks. And I'm sure everybody experienced the war zone that we had yesterday here in the city of Carson. And I've been here for a long time, over 35 years. And it's actually gotten really bad and it's out of control. And when you say illegal fireworks, you think people would understand it's illegal, but there's a certain population of people that don't care about that. And everybody seems this, you have not only seniors, but your neighbors, you have veterans, and not to mention the animals that are affected by this. And I propose that we go back to what we had in Carson over 25 years ago, where we did not sell fireworks here, and fireworks in the city of Carson were illegal. They were illegal. And hello?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, did you hear what I said, or do I need to start over?
No, we got it. You have a minute and a half left.
Okay, well, what I'm proposing is... Can you hear me? Yeah. Oh, can you hear me? Yeah.
Keep talking.
It's the computer. I'm looking at the... Okay, you want me to go ahead?
Yes.
Okay, anyway. All right, anyway, I was talking about the illegal fireworks.
Yes.
In the city of Carson. Can you? Okay. Anyway, I'm proposing, I would like to see Carson go back to what it was years ago, where we did not sell fireworks here, and then also the fireworks was prohibited from being used in the city. And then what I'm saying in that matter would be, we need to start over. We need to start wipe the slate clean. In order to get rid of these legal fireworks, we've got to be a lot more aggressive. I know they're fighting folks and putting out the notices and all that stuff, but we need to step up, because what happened yesterday was outrageous. It was horrible, and I feel bad for everybody, because I had a bird's eye view of what was going on, and it was bad. So again, my proposal is that Carson go back to what it was doing years ago. Let's ban fireworks in the city, and let's also ban the sale of fireworks. Let's wipe this slate clean and start over, because these illegal fireworks are out of control. They're dangerous, they're obsessive, they're loud, and everybody's affected by it, but people are just not speaking up.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I've received God knows how many complaints myself. So thank you for your comments, and we'll see. Okay. So
okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any comments? We're going to call for the approval of the minutes.
Move approval of the minutes.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Madam City Clerk, report the vote. I didn't hear.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Madam Mayor.
Did the councilwoman?
Aye. I unmuted, sorry.
Okay.
I didn't get the second. I got the motion by Councilman Deere.
Second by me, Hicks.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And thank you, Councilwoman. It appears to be unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have approval of the consent calendar, items 11 to 33.
I'll move approval, Madam Mayor, of the consent calendar.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Would anyone like to pull an item? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'm delayed.
You're delayed. That's because you just got off that airplane.
All the delays are
Unmute yourself.
Yes.
It's unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. The next is a special order of the day, is to continue a public hearing to consider the proposed allocation of community development block grant CDBG funds for fiscal year 2022-23 and adoption of 2022-23 annual action plan. Madam City Clerk, was it properly noticed, the hearing properly noticed?
Yes, Madam Mayor, it was. Do you want me to read the whole thing again?
Well.
Yes, I can. Just one moment.
Okay.
Notice of public hearing has been given pursuant to applicable law, including but not limited to the proof of timely publication received by my office, the City Clerk's office. The notice of the applicant was confirmed via email by my staff, and the posting requirements were met for individuals and the organizations. The posting affidavits are on file here in this office, and we did receive some written communication for it as well. Just 1, 2, 3 comments, Madam Mayor.
Okay, I'm gonna let you read those now before we go into staff presentation. I'll go out of order a little bit. You have them?
I do. I have them right here. Okay, my just for correction, it's 2. There's a staple, but this is all one person. Okay. So there are 2 comments, not 3. And the first one is from Jessica Martinez. Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. I'm representing the nonprofit organization Gang Alternatives Programs, better known as GAP, for the proposal request of CDBG funding to continue to provide the My Gang Free Life program in Carson schools.
Oh, just a second, Madam City Clerk. I'm going to go back because
okay.
I want you to read those during the public hearing.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a staff presentation, Mr. City Manager.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. We can provide a presentation for that particular item, so we'll have staff go ahead and give a quick update.
Thank you.
Yeah, our deputy, or our director of economic development, Mr. Saeed Nasay, is. Oh, he's up and ready. Here he is.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you, Mr. City Manager, Madam Mayor, members of City Council. Tonight we'll be presenting the CDBG grant program for program year 22-23. This year we've received $716,000. I'll just go over rounded numbers. It'll go quicker a little bit, which is about 10% less than last year, as provided by HUD. HUD regulations require us to stay maximum of 20% for entitlement for administration. In this case, it's about $143,000. Public services limited to about 15%, which is about $86,000. And capital improvements is basically the rest of it, which is a minimum of 65%. In this case, $486,000. As I mentioned, the administration will pay for staff salaries and benefits and operation and maintenance expenses. The public services, we received several proposals. This table shows how much each public service provider requested, and how much they received last year, and how much staff is recommending. So for fair housing, they requested 40,000. They're getting about 35,000. For Boys and Girls Club, they requested 100,000. They're getting about 20,000. Harbor Area Gang Alternatives Program requested 20,000. They're getting about 10,000. And Office of Samoan Affairs, they requested 24,000, and they'll be receiving 10,000, about 10,000. Venice Family Clinic, they requested 20,000, and staff is recommending about $10,000. Family Promise of South Bay requested 127,000. Staff is recommending $60,000 to be paid through the CDBG COVID program, not through the allocation for HUD for this program year. Also, Community Services Department scholarship program, they requested $100,000, and that's not being funded by CDBG, and item number 34 is going to be discussing that item. This concludes staff's report.
Okay, so the Venice family, that was that's all. They just changed the name. That used to be what?
That used to be the name escapes me. I'll look that up real quick.
I think it was the South Bay Counseling Center, I think.
Yeah, the South Bay Counseling Center,
Yeah.
local, but they just, because when I started, I said, why would we give money to Dennis? And then I was given the explanation. You can tell us a little later, Saeed. I just wanted for clarification for the records.
Sure.
Okay. Council members, are there any questions? Not a debate, just questions so we can answer.
Madam Mayor, I might have missed it. How many applications did we receive for CDBG funding?
These were all the applications that we received, 7.
Okay. Makes it easier. Makes it a whole lot easier.
And the last two have been funded out of all, they're being funded, just we're saying fund them out of a different funding. Okay. Any other questions?
Not a question so much. I know we're still on the public hearing part of it, but I think the staff has done a very thorough job of researching this along with our commissioners to make this recommendation. And due to the pandemic and our budget and the limited amount of money that the federal government is allocating to us with this block grant money, I think the staff's done a great job on this. So
yeah,
I would, after the public hearing's over, I suggest we consider the staff recommendation.
Okay, we're going to open the public hearing.
Yeah.
After we close it.
Yes. Madam Mayor, I have the complete name. It's a South Bay Family Healthcare.
Yes, I couldn't think of it. Okay, thank you. We just wanted on the record. So now we're going to open the public hearing. Madam City Clerk, you can read those letters that came in.
Yes, absolutely, Madam Mayor. And then just to add, there is one in the waiting room as well.
Okay. Okay.
I'll read the first letter that I began a moment ago. Again, it's from Jessica Martinez. Yeah, good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Jessica Martinez, and I am representing the nonprofit organization Gang Alternatives Program, better known as GAP. This is a proposal request for CDBG funding to continue to provide the My Gang Free Life programs in Carson schools. The My Gang Free Life program involves teaching students about the dangers of gang involvement and participation in other negative behaviors. Students are taught about what it means in choosing and living a gang-free life. The goal of the program is to prevent gang membership by providing school-aged grade students with a school-based gang prevention education. We hope to provide students the proper tools and information to empower them to combat life's challenges and to be able to achieve their life's dreams without the worry of being inadequately prepared. The pandemic has increased the need to positively maintain one's well-being. The lessons begin with discussing the history of gangs, gang dress, graffiti, and gang behaviors. Other lessons examine the consequences of gang involvement and other negative behaviors, and its effects on their families and their futures. Students are introduced to positive alternatives and techniques for achievement and personal well-being, and are encouraged to set goals and make positive lifestyle choices. We are excited to report that My Gang Free Life program was provided hybrid to Ambler Elementary School, Dominguez Elementary School, I'm assuming that's what the ES stands for, Catskill, Dolores, Town, and 232nd Place students during the 2021-2022 grant year. Number of lessons provided, 8 weekly for a 45-minute duration. The topics included introduction to gang membership, peer pressure, bullying as well as cyberbullying, diversity, cultural awareness, conflict resolution and anger management, drug involvement and violence, graffiti and tattoos, territory, community involvement, impact on the family, strengthening family bonds, consequences, crime, alternatives, gang-free kid, and self-discipline. Our hope is always for the City of Carson Council to continue funding GAP to provide its My Gang Free Life programs. This would allow us to continue our presence in the Carson community of schools by providing a truly valuable service to the youth. GAP is committed to its long-standing partnership to the Carson community. GAP's programs and services also have a strong track record and have open and transparent completed its program audits to the city's satisfaction every year. GAP has provided over 21 years of service in Carson, spending over $300,000 annually through its core programs, such as Step Up, After School Program in 232nd Place, Catskill, and Ambler, preventing a youth from participating in the dangers and influence of gangs and gang crimes can be, that's cut off. Best long-term investments to assist our communities where we live, work, and play. On behalf of the children, family, and teachers of Carson, we urge the mayor and city council members to continue to support My Gang Free Life programs in Carson. Thank you in advance for considering our request. If there's any information, she listed her contact information, and this has been forwarded to your office as well.
Thank you.
And the other written one that we received is from Katie Cisneros on behalf of the Samoan Affairs. This is on behalf of the Samoan Affairs. That's all it says, is Samoan Affairs. So Samoan Affairs office, I'll just fill that in for her. She's the regional director for that office. It's a nonprofit agency located here in Carson. Our agency operates a variety of programs to serve the community and strives to support the well-being of low-income families by offering clients the tools and resources they need to achieve greater self-reliance and stability in their lives. OSA has been a recipient of the CDBG funds for over 10 years and has supported hundreds of clients. OSA specializes in case management, social services support, domestic violence support, job services, parenting classes, an on-site food pantry, and youth development. The proposed project is entitled OSA Safety Net Human Services and will incorporate access to all the mentioned services, but with a focus on Carson residents who are extremely low income, homeless, senior citizens, and others who are in need. The goal of the Carson CDBG program is to provide appropriate social and human services activities that will support the Carson residents in attaining or maintaining a quality of life in their homes in Carson. Specifically, our experienced case managers support clients with CalFresh, Medi-Cal, SSI, and COVID-19 relief applications. We also connect clients to necessary resources using our deeply rooted networks. Our dedicated staff ensures that clients receive a warm handoff to referrals and follow-ups as needed. The new 2022 proposed CDBG Carson funds will support our highly needed services, as we have seen an increase in clients during COVID-19 pandemic and a variation in their families' needs. Our CDBG program will enable us to meet the growing needs of our clients and maintain our services to more in need. Again, this is from Katie Cisneros of OSA.
Thank you.
And there is one person in the queue, and with your permission, I'll let them in.
Please.
Caller, excuse me, ending in 725. You have been added to the live meeting. 2854, caller ending in 2854. You've been added to the live meeting. Kevin, they're in, right?
Yes.
Barely.
Okay.
Please hit *6 to unmute yourself. Caller ending in 2854.
There you are.
Hi, thank you.
Hi, yes, you've been added to the live meeting. Are you here for the public hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please state your name. You'll have 3 minutes. And I'm going to start now.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. This is Diana Medell. I serve as the Director of Strategic Partnerships for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Carson. First and foremost, the Boys and Girls Club would like to thank the entire council and staff for the support to Carson youth through the Boys and Girls Club. The CDBG funds are critical to support a wide variety of free resources that we provide for youth, such as case management, basic needs support, meals, groceries, social emotional wellness, and academic success. The Boys and Girls Clubs is a resource for youth and families, and additionally, we aim to be a resource to the city and be a supplement to what the city departments already provide. The Boys and Girls Clubs is committed to supporting families and the youth that need us most. This year, we celebrate 30 years in the city of Carson. And throughout the years, especially through the COVID pandemic, we have seen an increase in need of services such as tutoring, social emotional wellness programs, and basic needs. At the club, our Carson kids learn so much in very fun, intentional ways. The youth have a deep sense of belonging, and the parents have a sense of comfort to know that their children are in a safe and creative learning environment. Young people are learning how to code through STEM programs. A couple months ago, they presented their STEM projects, and those members were able to experience that. We hosted a robotics competition where parents and a couple of representatives were able to see and experience what that club experienced, what the clubs do. So we not only provide programming, but we definitely prepare young people for the 21st century workforce. The Boys and Girls Club programs provide and uplift their leadership with their peers among their school and community. In fact, we have 2 Carson Boys and Girls Club members that are ready to serve on the Carson Youth Commission. The Boys and Girls Club is a safe space for Carson youth. We're proud to be a prevention mechanism to ensure that youth do not become involved in the juvenile justice system. We thank the council and city of Carson for the years of CDBG funding that have supported a lifelong outcome. Now we need support more than ever as we help families through their recovery. Thank you all so much for your interest in helping us grow, and we look forward to many more partnership opportunities with the city of Carson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. And that concludes the written and oral communications. There's no one else waiting in the queue, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any closing comments from staff?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Oh, this is staff. Then I'll go back to you'll be
sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing. And now we'll have council deliberation. Councilwoman.
Yes, Dr. Bradshaw, there was a call that was giving that presentation on the Harbor Gang alternatives. Can you just, I missed your name and the information. I think that's great. So if you could just forward that information.
The caller or what I read?
I think it was the caller, or I'm not sure. It was someone that talked about the program involving gang alternatives program.
Yes, that was a written communication that we received, and I'll forward it to your office.
That perfect. And please thank them for that information.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Any more?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Council.
Yeah, a couple comments. First, the Boys and Girls Club, an organization that's been in Carson for many, many years, has such a tremendous track record of success guiding our young people toward a bright future. And I just wish we had more money available. There's not a lot of money from the federal government for these block grant programs when you divvy it up like we are. like we have to. And so we should be able to get some other funding for the Boys and Girls Club, because as you see, the current funding is at $50,000, and recommendation from staff is just $20,708. So we should be able to maybe find some other funding. The other comment is about the GAP program. GAP is one of the most successful of all of the outreach programs to, really intervene in the lives of young people at an elementary school age level. So before they get in the middle school and high school, they already have a positive outlook that gang life and gang activity is not right, it's not good, and it's not anything they should be interested in. GAP is very successful in teaching that. The other comment is about the Office of Samoan Affairs. I want to point out that even though it's called the Office of Samoan Affairs, it's an office that outreaches to all ethnic groups. It just happens to be titled that because that's how it was started, that's how it was created. And I want to compliment their work as well. They really help people of all ethnic backgrounds, which is only right, especially in Carson. And they do a great job as well. So just overall, my comments are, I wish we had more money to allocate, but we're really limited this year because of other programs that are going on. So that's my only comment at this point, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. So could you want to make a motion, Mr. Dare, Councilman?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, and I got to get my reading glasses on here.
Oh,
I move that we allocate CDBG public service funding for fiscal year 2022-2023, as designated by the City Council, and we authorize the mayor to execute agreements with the public service providers as designated by City Council following negotiation and approval as informed by the City Attorney, and approve the proposed fiscal year 2022-23 budget. Approve the submission of the city's 2022-2023 annual action plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, and direct staff to bring back a substantial amendment to the 2019-2020 annual action plan in the amount of $60,000 to provide funding to Family Promise of the South Bay from the CDBG CV funds. That is the motion.
I'll second that. It's been moved and properly second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Report the vote, Madam.
Aye.
Madam City.
It's jet lag.
I know what it is.
Unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Item number 30, is that 34? Is consider approval of community services
34,
scholarship program. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So item number 34, our City Manager of Administrative Services, Robert Lennox, will go ahead and have this presented for you.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager, and good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council members. I'm just going to introduce it a little bit before allowing our Community Services Director, Michael Whitaker, to answer any specific detailed questions you may have. As you recall from the prior item, there was a request from the Community Services Department to essentially ask for a public service allocation to help offset some of the costs related to some of our low to moderate income families and their interest in participating in programs offered through the Community Services Department. This was really introduced as a way to allow some families who couldn't afford to participate or who had multiple kids traditionally enrolled in our programs to participate where they felt costs could be prohibited. And so just to highlight a couple quick things, the attachments to the report do include some statistical information about enrollments over the last few years, as well as the costs of the programs in terms of fees. And then I want to highlight too that this item is not requesting an allocation for expenditure or new allocation for expenditure from general fund, but rather would do an adjustment to our anticipated revenues for the year, because those who participate in the program and who may get approved and awarded a scholarship amount would get a credit toward their family or household account within our ActiveNet registration program. And so that's sort of the foundation of this. I'm going to also ask if Michael Whitaker would like to add anything to this specific to specific programs that would be eligible for the scholarship as well. So Michael.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council. I also wanted to add that many of our kids, we've noticed this year, many of the families, especially the families with multiple children, as our Assistant City Manager stated before, have called and asked about different ways to offset some of the costs for their registration fees that they're paying for youth sports programs that we have right now. The youth sports is the biggest program that we have in the city of Carson in regards to numbers. We also have our early childhood kids club and day camp as well, which are additional programs that we would also allow this funding for as well. But what we are finding is that we do have a small population of people. And when I say small, I'm looking at anywhere from 5 to 10% of all of the people that participate in our programs are looking for additional help. We all know that right now, the inflation in the state of California, especially Southern California, has increased substantially. And so we have some families that are looking for some assistance to assist them with some of the programs that we're providing. One of the worst things in the world is to have a child who wants to play or who wants to participate, and the families can't afford these particular programs. And I think that this particular program will assist some of them in being part of those programs and helping those families during this trying time.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
I want to applaud the staff for the sense and the heartbeat of our community. There's a number of people who are struggling. I have people call all the time asking, is there anything that we could do to help in a scholarship program? Our tax dollars pay for it, especially if they live in the community. The renewal of the UUT is going to help us to go even further and to help more people in our community continue these vital services. I think we should consider, I don't know if there's any other deliberation, but my recommendation, I like to make a motion, is to consider approving a scholarship program for low to moderate income residents registering for community services and recreation activities.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Madam City Clerk, report the vote.
It's unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. To the staff, I would also like you to bring back a report to us on what our registration is for our sports, because I know it has dwindled, and I'm very supportive of this. I had the conversation because I am totally against a mother with 3 kids having to decide which child is going to participate in the program, and she tells the other one that, well, it's 2, I can only afford 1. So I think this is a step in the right direction for us, because parks, like Nate Riddick always said, are for people, and our kids are our top priority. And when I see the numbers dwindling, I am of concern. So I want to thank you. Thank you very much. And
Madam Mayor,
yes.
I just, you can hit it right on the head, and I know that Mayor Pro Tem is also. I've been asking. We have the UUT that passed. I think we did an outstanding job in balancing our budget without using one-time fees. I'm requesting if they could bring back to this body that we can look at our youth sports fees and do a 40% reduction for the next 2 years. So we've been in a pandemic. These residents are hurting, and gas is at $7 a gallon, and food is up. They need to be able to have an outlet for their children to be at our park. That's what they're built for.
Councilman, I think the recommendation should be that all registration fees are waived until because we're gonna have a UUT. I want our kids to participate in these park programs free. And so, we've been discussing this and passing UUT and then come back. This is their money.
That's right.
So I'm going to recommend that, I know it's a be hit on our budget, but we can't do it. We can do it for the upcoming sports season, Mr. City Manager. Look at something, bring it back to us. You can let us know what it costs, but this UUT is on the ballot and they need to pass it for us and they need to reap some of the benefits. So that's going to be my request, Mr. Councilman, if that's okay.
That's fine. I take the friendly amendment.
Okay, to the staff.
Can we vote on that tonight or?
No, I just had some things back to vote.
Bring it back.
I was
going to bring it back.
Madam Mayor, if I may ask as well, I know that one of the tasks that staff has is to bring back the fee study, in which case I think this would be a great sort of platform for us to expand upon the need to increase the waiver registration fees.
Yes.
Yeah, is that acceptable?
When is that going to be back? I've been waiting for it. So I like this one back next council meeting.
Post-haste, yeah.
Post-haste, because our kids are going to be signing up for, what is it, football, basketball is coming up. And that UUT is going to be on the ballot in November.
Yeah, that'll be football, soccer.
Football, soccer, yeah. So we need to come back and with a recommendation. And Madam City Attorney.
Yes.
Can we include that motion into this? Is that
yes?
What we're going to include
to bring it back? Yes, to bring it back.
Oh, it has to come back. I was just going to do it tonight. Okay, thank you. We'll bring it back. Next council meeting.
That was a good try, madam.
All she can say is no.
Madam Mayor, that is a really great idea. And, this UUT does have to pass. It's really important. And, the youth of our community is what it's all about. We really have to, do what we can to make their life better, and their future will be better because of the work that we do. So, great idea. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Amen.
Okay. Amen. The motion passed unanimously.
Yes.
Item number 35.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For this particular item, it's going to actually be handled by our Assistant City Manager, John Raymond, in lieu of our Public Works Director for this evening.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. Back in the spring, the Public Works Department bid a contract for concrete work for the remediation of the city's sidewalks, and going through the bidding process, there were two bidders, BPR Inc. and Southern California Precision Concrete Inc. And based on the criteria of the bid that was contained in the bid, staff recommended the award to Southern California Precision Concrete, even though it was more, it cost more than the other bid. This was agendized at your last meeting, and we asked to pull it and bring it back at this meeting because there was a bid protest from the other bidder, and so the Assistant City Attorney Robert Lee worked on this, sent a letter to the other bidder explaining the rationale for awarding the bid to Southern California Precision Concrete. And it really comes down to when you're replacing concrete, you're actually saw cutting and grinding concrete, and one of the byproducts is silica dust. And the difference between the two bids and the two companies was how they handle silica dust in the process. And Southern California Precision Concrete actually has a couple of patented process to handle and to reduce the amount of silica dust that's thrown up into the air because it's dangerous to the health of the workers. without using, basically just spraying and watering the whole thing down and washing silica dust into the gutter or into the parkway. And so BPR did not accept that basically as a rationale. They have not withdrawn their bid. And so the recommendation is to let me read it. It's basically to uphold the recommendation to award to Southern California Concrete and to reject the bid protest from BPR Inc. Robert Lee is here if you have any legal questions about what your rights and obligations are in this situation, but the technical information is in there in the staff report and as the basis of the recommendation to go forward with this contract. Anyway, that concludes my report.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve staff's recommendation.
Second. Oh.
It's been moved and properly second. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Madam City Clerk, report the vote.
Unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Item number 36. Consider introduction of an ordinance defining and prohibiting the unlawful possession of detached catalytic converters in the city of Carson. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to provide a brief update in the event that Mayor, Council, you have any questions. I've got my backup, Captain Jones, who will answer any questions if need be. But for this item, Madam Mayor and Council, the ordinance proposed before you this evening is an introduction to make it unlawful in the city of Carson to possess a catalytic converter that is not attached to a vehicle unless the possessor has a valid proof of lawful possession of the catalytic converter. The ordinance is designed to help combat theft of catalytic converters from vehicles, and similar ordinances have been adopted by numerous cities for this purpose. For your approval, Madam Mayor and Council.
Mr. City Manager or Madam Mayor.
Yes.
This catalytic converter is a major issue in our community. If you go through Carson 411, if you go through Carsonian. So I'd like to move staff's recommendation tonight and to make it unlawful to
introduce the
ordinance.
First reading.
I want to introduce the first reading by title only, ordinance number 22-2215, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Carson, California, adding a new section 4149, unlawful possession of a detached catalytic converter, to Chapter 1, prohibited conduct offenses of Article Public Peace of the Carson Municipal Code establishing regulations defining and prohibiting the unlawful possession of detached catalytic converters in the city of Carson.
Second. Quick to Councilman Hicks.
You're gonna give it to Councilman.
It was a tie. I mean, that was jinx.
Well, we said it together, so I'll give it to Councilman Hicks.
He's gonna, okay. Moved and properly second. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I'll report the vote, Madam City Clerk.
Unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Item number 37, consideration of a local pumps, city commissions, committees, and boards. We don't need a staff report. Let's see, where am I? Ryan Ford is on. To the Public Relations Commission, I'd like to appoint Dorothy Ross to alternate number 3. To the who is that?
It's somebody's phone.
Not mine. To the Women's Issues Commission, I'd like to move up Yolanda Fielder from alternate number 1 to the vacated position. Yolanda Fielder. And to the Relocation Appeals Board, I'd like to move up Dennis Batuka from alternate number 1 to the vacated regular position on the Relocation Appeals Board.
Madam Mayor, can you repeat that name, please?
Dennis, he's the alternate number 1 on the Relocation Appeal. I'm just moving him up to a full.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you.
That guy. Okay, that's my motion. Can I get a second?
A second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So reluctant. What's wrong?
Aye.
Thank you. To Public Works, the motion has been moved and properly second and passed and voted upon. Report the vote, Madam City Clerk.
It's unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Okay, Councilman, Mayor Pro Tem. What I need to do? Public Works.
I just reached out to one of my constituents who reached out to me, and I just wanted to confirm that he sent his application. So I'll have that for sure next week. If not, I'll do.
Do you know who he was?
Dr. John Hamilton.
Put him on there.
Well, I want to make sure that he go get sworn in. So
he will if you they'll just call him for his phone number and papers and swear him in if he wants it.
Yeah, that's what I want to make sure.
Oh, okay, okay, all right. So that concludes our regular agenda. Is there before we go back into closed session, memorial adjournments?
Madam Madam Mayor, there were no memorial adjournments provided, although I know there were some things listed sort of over the weekend in the news. So I think we'd be remiss if we didn't keep the family and friends of those in Chicago,
absolutely,
Highland Park, in our prayers.
And I had one I just forgot. I can't think of the name, but yes, want to keep them in our prayers. Anyone else?
Madam Mayor, I think just in that same vein, the young man, Jalen, from Akron, Ohio, who received 60 shots to his unfortunate death at age 25.
Yes.
I think he needs to be lifted up in his family.
Okay, where's my Bishop MPT?
I'm right here. Right here. Let's bow our heads. Father, tonight you've heard all of the requests that were made for the city of Chicago, for Jalen and the city of Akron. There was someone who was found demised in our community. We pray, God, that you would bless these families, bless our community as a whole. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Mrs. I know it was one lady. She's 107 years old. She stays on Eddington. She just passed. I can't think of the name. Just a second. I'll do it at the next meeting, but it's the policeman that lives on Eddington. MPT?
I can't.
It's struggle to P.
I can't call his name.
Yeah, his mother passed. She was 107 years young. She just passed. She came to the council when she was 100 years old, and we presented her with a certificate. And when she was 103, I sent them every year to her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I will acknowledge her at the next council meeting, or when we come back from closed session. I'll have it by then.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, I'll have it by then. All communications from my council members.
Yes, Madam Mayor. I want to say, is this what time we request stuff to go on the agenda?
Yeah,
or,
you can. We may as well do it all in one sweep.
Yeah, I would like to consider that we change the tennis courts at Hemingway Park to, is that called cricket field? What's it called? Pickleball.
Pickleball.
They had over 50 participants there this weekend, and people have been coming across from around the country. I met some people who flew in from Virginia just to play the weekend at Hemingway Park. And pickleball is a new It's an old sport that's getting new traction, and people are flying all over the world to play this sport. And our courts have been scheduled to be repaved and resurfaced over at Hemingway Park, and yet to be done. I would like to see, and hopefully I can convince my colleagues, go see for yourself. This pickleball is moving by storm. I sat with someone who came all the way, flew from Virginia to play the weekend at pickleball in the city of Carson. So it's a wonderful thing. I would like to request to see how we can manage our staff to move in that direction. People are excited about it, and it's a craze that has been happening for the last couple of months here in our city. So
I have a request.
Yes, ma'am.
From you. Before we do that, because I don't want to be bombarded by your constituents, that you have a town hall meeting.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Before we do that, and then get their opinion, because we don't want to be beat up when somebody that has, you changed our attendance code and you didn't involve us. So
okay.
Could you do that and
yes,
then bring it back?
We have a town hall meeting coming really soon in Hemingway Park, guys. I'll see you there.
That's your part? Is that your part?
Yes, ma'am. That's my part.
Yes.
Madam Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
The city is actually wrapping up its Parks Master Plan update right now. And that study has identified a lot of feedback from the community, including those at Hemingway Park, who have identified that pickleball is a growing interest. And so that study is supposed to come back in August, and it will show that demand out there. So I wouldn't necessarily say you don't want to do a community outreach session. I think more is always better. But know that the report is going to also already show that as well.
Okay, so we can include that in the Mayor Pro Tem's town hall meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
So he's not beat up.
Thank you, Madam.
Okay. The young lady's name that was this, and then once you have it, Mayor Pro Tem will put it on the agenda.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The Percy Roberts is the son. He took care of his mother. Her name is Matilda Roberts, Matilda Roberts. Like to adjourn. In her memory, she was 107 years old. She just went to sleep.
Pray the Lord, let me go to sleep like that.
Yeah, after 107. She was in her right mind, no dementia, doing her thing, like my auntie. So a life well lived. He took it kind of hard, but 107, that's awesome. Okay, any other requests, comments from my colleagues?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
3 requests, but actually a fourth item. I'll take up the fourth item first. That's a statement to Council Member Hilton. I attended the first tournament, so to speak, and training, and I think the councilman was there as well after I had left. And so I'd like to challenge the councilman to a pickleball game.
Let's do it.
Friendly game.
Challenge the Mayor Pro Tem. The councilman won't show up, but the Mayor Pro Tem will.
A Mayor Pro Tem Bishop. Juwan Hilton. So it should be pretty fun, and we could do it at Hemingway Park when we can fit in our schedules. Number 2, I would like to have on a future agenda that we put a request to our city attorney to draft a resolution expressing the city of Carson's support for, quote, Alliance for Renewable Clean Hydrogen Energy Systems, unquote, also known as ARCHES. The initiative as it applies to federal hydrogen hub designation and funding, and direct the city manager to prepare a letter for our consideration to have the city join the ARCHES along with other cities that are considering this at the same time. So to the city attorney, could we make this in the form of a motion to add it to a future agenda? Excuse me.
That's just a request.
So the way it would work, you can ask the request. If the mayor doesn't add it on the agenda, then you would have to add it as a subsequent item, and then there has to be a vote to add it.
Oh, at that time. Okay, that's fine. So I won't make it in the form of a motion tonight, but I do make it as a request.
Okay.
Number 2, number 2, I want to again ask for the removal of the dictator ordinance. Removal of that ordinance will allow the majority of the city council to add things to the agenda. In a democracy, that's how we should do it. And now we can't do it that way because of the obstinance of some individuals. So we need to change that. Then lastly, add to the agenda the mobile home park zoning ordinance that I've been asking for months to our city council agenda, so we can establish a mobile home park zone to protect the mobile home park residents in Carson. Those are my 3 requests to go on the future agenda, the next council meeting preferably. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Madam Mayor, if I may just take the liberty to, before you jump into closed session, wishing our mayor and Mayor Pro Tem and Bishop a happy birthday this Friday, who happens to be part of the second greatest fraternal organization in the United States. So just wanted to thank him and wish him a happy birthday.
You had a birthday?
It's Friday, Madam Mayor.
We'll have, yes,
We'll have
happy
one.
birthday.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
We should sing to him.
Let's go. Start off. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Patron Milton. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much.
It's horrible.
Too bad it was
Councilwoman, you sound really nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I thought we were all singing together.
You're welcome.
Everybody was in their own tune.
On
Yeah,
to
for sure.
On, yep.
We need to sing the Stevie Wonder version. That's why. What next time?
But Madam Mayor, also our city clerk had a birthday.
Oh, our city clerk?
Birthday.
Yes.
It was Friday.
It was Friday.
Mayor, I don't think we
happy
should repeat that song, but we should apply it
You
to
have to give her just dues. She's due.
She needs a song.
You want to hear this choir
I'll
again?
sing happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday. Happy birthday.
All I got for you.
I love it.
There we go.
Who is that?
There's a pooch.
Hey, look,
Hello.
Oh,
there we go.
Is Kevin saying that's how we sound?
We're gonna go into closed session. We'll be back in about.
Thank you, guys.
Go into closed session.
Madam Mayor, before we go into closed
Yes.
session, we have oral communications council members.
Oh, I thought you. Okay, go on.
So I just want to say happy 4th of July belated to everyone in Carson. We have such a great city, and want to just say God bless Carson along with the God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments?
Closed session.
Closed session, great for CA event. Kudos to the staff. Thank you very much. Join now. Reconvening our regular council meeting. Madam City Attorney, report out on our closed session items, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The council met in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D2 or D3 and E1 to finish the two items they did not take up in the first closed session. No reportable action was taken. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Anything else from my colleagues? Hopefully not. We covered everything. This meeting is adjourned.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.